Hi guys, and welcome to the State of Crypto, your one-stop source for all crypto-related news. I'm your host Martin, and this is episode 218. Is Bitcoin halving bullish and layoffs at Consensys? Now, if you're catching the stream live, welcome. And if you're catching the replay and have any suggestions for us, please leave us a comment below. We really want to know what you're thinking. Now, if you want to be up to date with the latest crypto-related news, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button and that bell so you're notified when we go live. And if you want to keep on chatting with us once the stream is done, you can join us on the Discord. Links in the description, guys. So is it linked to the amazing articles that we cover here on this stream. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you for watching us tonight on an awesome Monday night. Markets are going down. Surprise, surprise. We kind of knew we were seeing indecision. We're just going back to a new, previous low that we had. But until we go lower, we'll be able to determine where precisely the market might want to go. So once again, I'm getting my monitor set up here on the side. There we go. Now, like I said, happy Monday. I hope you're having a great time. If you like what we do those little things, right? And as those little things pop up and tell you what to do magically, we will jump on to the other screen that you guys already know, and where we're going to do our technicals. There are just two articles that we're going to look at today. They're very brief. I'm just going to touch on them briefly. And then after that, we'll turn into market news, right? So let me send this out on Twitter real quick. There we go. Awesome. Now Twitter knows that we're live. Great. So what's happening? Is Bitcoin halving bullish? Plus, Facebook Libra loses its luster. We're not going to look at that second part. I really don't care about Facebook Libra that much right now. I'm more concerned about what's going to happen with the market now. This is from Forbes, so of course it is from a reputable source. The other thing I care is this: crypto markets, after dipping early in the week, Bitcoin jumped back over 7,000 on Thursday, as our major cryptocurrencies enjoyed a day of gain as well. With the highly anticipated Bitcoin halving less than a month away, investors are still unsure how the market is primed to react. Something that we've been mentioning before, right? We've talked about this in other streams, and I've been saying, look, the market is undecided. We don't know. We don't have a clear picture as to how the market might behave. There's forces that might push it to the upside. There's also this whole global pressure coming in that it's probably going to push this to the downside. So again, we're seeing this struggle happening, right? Anyways, a drop in supply could be the catalyst for Bitcoin, but bears say miners who can no longer turn a profit could flee the market, right? So crypto analyst company Coinmetrics projected crypto miners' revenue to drop to $3.3 billion in 2020 from $5.5 billion in 2019, which could temporarily pressure these companies to sell and cause a price decline. Now, we've known about this, right? Crude oil is negative 37 a barrel. Yes, man, I looked at that article on CNN. On the charts that I'm looking at, I haven't seen it negative. But maybe it's the futures that is negative, right? I got to look at where that oil price came from. The article wasn't too clear, right? You were not trying to buy oil. They should be paying you to take oil, right? Find a storage place. Get free oil, store it. Because that's what's happening. They're running out of storage space. Get barrels, store them, and then resell them once the price goes up. Anyways, like I said, look, this is a bit of what's expected to happen, right? 78% change of Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. I really don't care much about this part here. Current price of top 5 coins by market cap. Really, to me, this is just bland. What I was talking about here, or why I wanted to point this out, is because of this. Even though the article says, is the Bitcoin halving bullish? We're still getting to the same point. We're still undecided. And there's this whole part of that. If the miners start selling, they're going to have to, they're basically going to crash the market. So, can you get rich if it goes positive in price? Look, that would be if you wanted to buy it physically, right? And it could be negative, but it could still come out. There's still other things that would affect the price, right? Like freight to where you live. So if you got to pay like a lot of money to haul that to a storage facility, then you're going to have to incur in storage fees because you have to wait for that market to become positive. Then you have to check into, first of all, you actually have to check into the loss, make sure you can actually purchase oil. Sometimes if you buy it as a person, it's harder to sell it because then no one knows where it came from, and it's harder than if it's from a reputable company that is actually an oil producer. But there's other things that would come into play that could make it to where you actually losing money, right? Or you ended up having to pay money. Meanwhile, so I don't think you can actually buy it. It's just like a way of saying, look, they have to pay you to take it, right? Or you would have to buy it for zero. I mean, I don't think they'll pay you to take it. Other things that have gone negative before, it's sulfuric acid, right? And sulfuric acid, sometimes it trades negative, so you actually get paid by the company to take it because they have an oversupply. There's an oversupply of sulfuric acid that they just need to get rid of it. So if you're an outlet, yes, they'll pay you some to take it, or you just buy it for zero, but then you just have to put all that freight and storage capabilities, right? So you got to check that out. I mean, if you read into it, it's something that does happen every now and then. It's not too common to see it. I'm not sure how much reach you can actually be of buying oil at negative prices, because I'm not even sure they'll sell to you as a person. You're probably gonna have to have some storage facility for you to be able to intake that, and for you to be eligible to take that oil, your storage facility probably has to pass a couple of security things, right? You don't want an explosion happening or anything like that with oil. Anyways, like I said, all I want to point out from here is that we're seeing a decision, and the market, like I said, doesn't know where it wants to go, right? The next article, again, new layoffs hit Ethereum incubator Consensys. Now, the global COVID-19 pandemic has deeply impacted the world's health and livelihood. That's what the company spokesperson is telling CoinDesk. Now, Consensys has carefully analyzed business in relation to what is occurring globally. Like most of its peers, the company is seeing extraordinary uncertainty in the market, with businesses rebalancing priorities and reevaluating timelines. Remember, again, something that we've been talking about, right? Company is seeing extraordinary uncertainty in the market. I'm not sure how you can buy it, Benny, if it's negative. I never had that happen, right? Where I can buy something negative. You can buy stock on companies that are oil producing that are probably gonna take a massive hit, but they still have other assets that make that company still be worth something, right? So when the company sells off, you still have those assets that they'll sell. But you can certainly buy low right now. Like I said yesterday, right? You gotta wait for these opportunities. A lot of these companies are gonna start taking hits. Who knows how many of them are gonna survive, or how many of them are gonna get bailouts or loans that they're gonna have to repay. But I would say, I'm not sure if I should say wait a little, but play it safe, right? I would wait a little bit, maybe tomorrow, see how the day develops. And then if you believe that the market is going to go back into positive, because it maybe hit a retrace and it's going to bounce, you can certainly look to get back into it, right? We can check something with oil once we get to the technicals, but right now, I'll say it just depends. Anyways, the company's seeing extraordinary uncertainty in the market. Again, same thing that we're seeing, right? There's uncertainty in the market that we've been talking about that. All key operational aspects of the business are preserved to the development and service of key products and solutions. So that's what they're saying. And they're going to retain. They began the year with 850 employees. They're going to and now retains just over 550. So they've gotten rid of about 300 employees. Now they're also saying that crisis-related opportunities such as central bank digital currency, CBDCs, emergency loans, and disbursement solutions, supply chains for personal protective equipment, and retail industry identity solutions. Right, that's something that they're working on. Let me change this song because this is usually the outro song. Let's play something else here. There we go. But you can buy oil-related stocks, right? Or you can buy futures for oil. I think the futures for oil for May or June, there are like $22 or something like that. Anyways, that's it for this, man. We're gonna jump into the technicals and start with the market, and then we'll look at oil. What's happening with market cap, right? Yesterday, dropping 8.46 billion, 4.17% to downside. Today, trying to get a bounce, 0.53%, or approximately $1.02 billion. sitting at 195.36 billion, which is pretty good. Now total market cap, that's it. Let's go to Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin yesterday made dominance very little, 0.07. Today is losing it, 0.06%. Sitting at 64.53% of market cap. That's it. Not a lot happening, right? Bitcoin, look, we dropped on price. What? Really? Yes, we hit resistance. We talked about it, right? We were like kissing it again. Obviously, we ended up moving down. Below the 20, we knew there was a possibility. I was getting ready again to go back into my entry, but again, not really happening. Tightness off the boundary band, still developing. Neutral on that RSI at 48.98. Again, if anyone has any questions about anything that we say here, you can put them on the chat, and we'll discuss them. Last thing we checked out here, look, divergence, bearish, right on the daily, action to the downside. Got it. Tried to rise, but went slightly lower than our previous high again, so we still have bearish divergence. We haven't made a negative momentum yet. And like I said, neutral on that RSI at 49.07. 49.07, yes. So let's go to the 4 hours and check it out there, right? On the 4 hours, what's happening? We had divergence, bearish. That's the last thing we called on April 18th. So 2 days ago, price action to the downside. We didn't develop anything here by the time we were on the stream. And again, we knew it was a chance. We were facing resistance at the 50% at 7,200-ish. We talked about that being a resistance. Look, 7,200, not kidding, right? We hit there, we opened there, and then we just moved down because we have not been able to get above that. Anyways, moving down below 20, we know that we could have gone lower. We did go low, not as low as we could have. The only thing that we're developing right now, and what's helping us kind of bounce a little, it's this hidden bullish divergence, right? Just on the 4 hour, making sure this is going to stick on the 4 hours and not go back onto the 1 hour chart. There we go. This would be 35.99, 36, slightly higher still. So not quite on the RSI. But at least on the MACD, we have developed this kind of hidden divergence. Potential price action to the upside. We're getting this reversal-ish. Two things could happen, right? We could round off and drop down again and then create strong bullish divergence. Or we could go up, hit the 20, test, and then see where it goes from there. We already know what happens, right? We hit the 20, there's a chance we could go above it. If we do, we're looking for higher prices. If we don't, we're looking for at least lower prices or at least a rejection, right? Another movement to the downside. That's it for this on the 4 hours. Neutral on the RSI at 42.36. Again, we know we're undoing what we did the previous couple days, right? We talked about market indecision. We've been talking about this for a while. We said the market is uncertain. Fatty was here the other day. He was asking, why is the market not going down? Hi, Fatty. Market went down today. Remember that indecision we talked about is showing up, right? Market going up, we're undoing. Again, just something that we've been seeing happening the last couple of days, right? A lot of indecision. Bitcoin to the dollar at $1. Bitcoin to the dollar at 1 hour, not $1. Below 20. What happened? What happened? Well, did we break down on something? Let's see. Yes, I think we might have had divergence sort of develop here. I'm assuming a little bit more. All right, yeah, we do. It's just very slight though, right? High, lower high, positive momentum, more positive momentum, creating hidden bearish potential price action to the downside, and 56.41, 55, so slightly less here still. Yeah, so nothing on here. It just looks like equal basically, but again, we do technically have that divergence that is developing. Price action to the downside, got it, moved down, broke below the 20 again. We knew it could happen, right? And again, at the 200 level, right? 7,200-ish. Try to get high, fell, moving lower. Making more negative momentum, lower on the RSI. So we don't really have bearish divergence yet. A chance, again, like I said, we could come down a little bit more, create that strong bearish divergence, and then bounce from there. Sold on the RSI at 36.69. That negative momentum starting to die out. We could do positive momentum, try to hit the 20 and then reject, or get above the 20, go slightly higher, and then drop down again. And have this small positive momentum. You know, there's just so many things could happen right now because of all the indecision, right? We could go up, hit the 20, go above it slightly. The market could interpret that as a bullish move and then just go higher again. Try to aim for 7,200 again, and then make more positive momentum. You know, there's just so many things that could happen right now as to the future of the price. So that's why I said keep taking it a day at a time, right? With all the indecision, everything that's happening. It's just best to play it safe right now. Unless you're really risky and you want to go in, you know, that's your call. If you want to short, that's your call. For me, I like money. I like making money, so I'm going to wait for this to clear up a little bit more, and we can find a good entry, right? An area of value to go in at. Anyways, that's it for Bitcoin on The 1 hour. Let's go to Ethereum. What's happening with Ethereum? Yesterday, lost dominance 1.21%. Today, gaining 0.34%, getting 9.74% of market cap. Now, the price of Ethereum at $172.30. It's really, again, moving down. We're within the same range, man. We just moved from the 50% to the 382 at 165.58. So again, you know, we're within the range, within a major range, right? 193.56 to 159. You have this smaller range of 165.35 to 189-ish, 0.16, or close to it, right? Again, getting tightness of the boundary bands coming in, divergence developed, movement to the downside. We're expecting that. We knew it was a chance we could hit here and bounce. We talked about that yesterday, I believe. And you know, we're good where this is at, really. That's it for this on the daily. It's just not a lot happening, guys. Sorry about that. Neutral on the RSI, 46.88. It's just so complicated. Again, divergence, bearish price action to the downside. We called that on the 18th. Playing off, trying to bounce, rejecting at yesterday. I think yesterday we were like here, right? 10 p.m. You know, we're trying to get a bounce. Failed, right? And managed to move lower. Again, neutral on that RSI at 46.88. Low, higher low, negative momentum, less negative momentum. Now, this is all the same across the market, right? Or it should be quite close to the same across the market. We don't quite have it on their sign. That's fine, just against the MACD. Hidden bullish, potential price continuation, getting the bounce. Let's go to the 1 hour. On the 1 hour, again, negative momentum at 103. It's the highest we've made on the previous island. This island made more. 1.26 negative, right? So again, low on the price, lower low, negative momentum still increasing, and lower on the other side. We don't have anything bullish right now. And same thing that we're saying with Bitcoin, right? A couple things that could happen. We could round off, go down, create divergence, maybe around here at this support, 165-ish. Create support, try to get a bounce. Maybe from here we can try to rally, hit the 20, right? Because we're decreasing that negative momentum. And we can try to get above and then try to run again for the 190s, right? 189.39-ish. High, lower high, less positive momentum, lower on the RSI. Not much happening here. Again, just regular market motion, right? We're not expecting much right now. Expanded on the boundary bands on the 1 hour, right? We talked about tightness happening. Also talking about tightness happening on the 4 hour, but we're still expanded, so that's fine. And then on the daily, tightness still coming in, right? So that's it for Ethereum. I want to move on to XRP again. Markets have not done anything that is so particular. At least we get a move, like I said yesterday, right? I hope we get a move tomorrow, Monday. We did get a move. It was to the downside. Okay, so yesterday, XRP gaining 0.34%. Today's losing 0.19%, sitting at 4.12% of market cap. The price of XRP, 18 cents, 18.269 cents. Dropped almost by 1 cent. Yesterday, the high was 19.4. Right now, we're sitting at 18.2, right? So we dropped almost 1 cent in between yesterday and today, I guess. Not good, right? 19.5. Yeah. Anyways, rejecting the higher prices. Moving below the 20. Tightness of the boundary band still coming in. Starting to make negative momentum. Neutral on that RSI, 47.56. Now, this is starting to develop, so we're going to wait for tomorrow for us to call it. But, you know, everything's looking good right now. Normal. At 18.248, right? Let's go to the 4 hour chart. Divergence, bearish, price action to the downside. We knew that was going to happen. Move down below 20. We were talking about this bounce yesterday, right? Look, we hit, again, the 19.440 area, rejected, and then we moved down, right? So, again, we kind of expected that movement. Below the 20, again, trying to rally right now on what? Same thing that Ethereum had. Oh, yes, we do. Barely, man. Just barely. There we go. On the other side, let's see, 35.06, 34.14. Now here we even have it on the other side, right? So going slightly lower. Creating hidden bullish divergence, potential price continuation. To the upside, of course, getting this rally. Again, tightness of the boundary bands expanded. That's about it, man. Neutral on that RSI at 40.86. Bullish, last thing we called was on April 19th. So we got the price to the upside, right? Again, we knew We talked about hitting this as resistance, right? And then if we got above that, we talked about this resistance happening. So again, we knew we had two resistances. We rejected the first one, moved lower, breaking below the 20. And of course, we just crashed. A little bit more negative momentum than the previous island, more negative momentum than the previous low. Lower on that RSI, hitting overbought at some point in time. And right now, sitting neutral at 40.08. Not much happening here, right? Yet nothing we can chart, but same outlook that for Ethereum, right? We go slightly lower. We try to rally from here and try to hit the 20. If we get above, the market can interpret that as bullish, and we try to go again for 19,440, right? And then to the downside again, we could probably be targeting at least 1773. That seems to be an area where we bounce here. That could be a support. We have some peaks here that came down and touched that area, right? So as you can tell, we've had it before. I just haven't put it as a support yet because we haven't really tested it as a support, I believe. So let's wait for this movement. Again, it might be slightly lower, create that negative momentum, get that bounce, again, that strong divergence to develop, and then bounce from there. That's it for XRP. I'm going to move on to Litecoin. Again, if I'm moving quick today, you know, Monday night, not a lot happening with the market. Honestly, it's just a copy and paste of each other coin, right? It's all the same. What's happening with dominance, right? Yesterday, losing 0.52%. Today, gaining 0.33%, sitting at 1.33% of market cap. The price of Litecoin at $40.36. Again, moving slightly lower, below the 20. Again, we opened at 20. We rejected higher prices, moving lower, and that's fine. Positive momentum still decreasing. Neutral on that RSI at 45.14. Let's go to the 4 hour. 4 hour, what we had? Divergence, right? Price action to downside. We got above the 20 barely. And we knew we could test it again, and we did. We tested, we were bouncing, and then, you know what? We got pressure from the upside and broke down farther down, just like the rest of the market did. Again, getting the same divergence happening, right? Right, low, lower low, negative momentum, more negative momentum. Hidden bullish divergence. That is the name of today's game, hidden bullish divergence. And we're waiting for this to develop more, right? We don't have it here on the RSI, slightly higher, as you can tell, but sold at 39.45. That's it in the 4 hours. Let's go to the 1 hour. That's what we call was bullish, price action to the upside. They get that small rally happening, right? We drop and kind of U-turn here around the 11. We kept on testing the 20, and we just failed, right? We weren't strong enough to get a bounce. So we ended up moving down, lower low, then our previous low. And again, like I said, we've been much lower, more negative momentum, lower in the RSI. Nothing we can call this bullish yet. We're probably going to get this turn to the downside here. It looks a little bit more cleaner, right? That we might still go drop a little bit more than the rest of the other charts. But again, the chance that we could run to the 20 is still very possible. We don't have anything else happening. Sold at 38.40 on the RSI. Let's go to Binance. Again, man, sorry if I'm moving quickly, but, you know, no point in wasting your time just talking about the market when it's really not doing much, right? We don't have much to go on yet. We're just seeing that indecision play out. So what's happening with Binance dominance? Losing 2.54% yesterday. Today gaining 0.99. Sitting at 1.21% of market cap. The price of Binance, $15.24. Now, what do we had? Divergence on the price. Price action to the downside. Hitting the 20. We seem to be holding it, which is pretty good on Binance. Neutral on that RSI at 53.08 on the 4 hours. Let's check it out. In the 4 hours, we created strong bearish divergence, price action to the downside. We did move down, hit the 20. We're getting a bounce. I remember calling this bounce and saying, look, man, we're getting a pretty good bounce. But you know what? It was short-lived. We did hit 1650, and then we just rounded off at 16.49, actually. Then we just rounded off and dropped, right? We're still creating this divergence that the rest of the market has. And again, all things being equal, the market, all cryptos are behaving the same, right? Except that this one also has a divergence on the RSI, just like XRP. Right? Litecoin, Ethereum, and Bitcoin didn't. But Binance and XRP apparently do have this divergence. Again, hidden bullish, potential price continuation, getting this bounce happening on the 4 hours. Let's go to the 1 hour chart. Last thing we called was on the 18th was bearish divergence, price action to downside. We weren't making anything yesterday by the time we were on the stream, right? That was around this time. We're just getting this movement to the upside again, rounded off. Move down, rejected 20. Now moving much lower. We don't have any divergence developing. Low, lower low, even lower low than here with more negative momentum and also lower on that RSI. We created a new pause, a negative momentum here, but again, higher, right? Less negative momentum, higher on the other side. Nothing really to call. Now, I'm waiting for the same thing to happen, right? You can see here that we're going up, we're starting to reject. Again, waiting for this movement to the downside, create that divergence to get a bounce, but the market could go nuts, hit the 20, go above, interpret it as a bullish move, and go higher, right? Neutral on the RSI at 40.62. That's it for crypto. I'm going to look at gold, silver real quick. After that, we'll look at markets, and then maybe we'll get to oil. What's happening with silver on the daily? Yesterday, so a little bit positive, right? Coming in 0.58%. Again, that's nice. We're probably going to head for the 20 and use it as support. We're back on this range. We talked about this, right? $14 and $17 is a regular range for silver to move around. Gold got a small bounce, retested almost 1,700, sorry. And then we just moved down from there, right? So again, we knew those are targets. We knew there's resistance potentially. We used it as support before. Right now it's moving down a little, so I'm really not too worried about this. Probably going to hit for the 20 as well. And then we can try to see if we test it and bounce from it, or if we dropped lower, right? But again, last thing we had was divergence, hidden, price action to the downside. We're getting it. Let's look at the markets. S&P, what's happening with S&P? We had divergence, right? And then we developed more. Again, I kind of showed this one off the other day, I think, and I was hesitant to leave it there, because I said it's too short of a time frame for it to play out, right? But look, even though we don't have it, we're still creating this strong bearish divergence, price action to the downside. We don't have it on the RSI. We just moved down slightly, 51 points. Nikkei down 228 points. Again, same divergence, right? Here we did leave it on the Nikkei, and we did get it, right? Toronto up 28 points. So not a lot, very much just doing the previous day as well. Gap down to the open, moved up, closed more or less where we had. London up 60 points. Again, it gapped up and then it just moved down on the closing. London is the only one that's moving differently, but London is now developing bearish divergence. Strong bearish divergence. Not on the RSI, just against the MACD, right? So just keep that in mind for London Stock Exchange. If you're going to trade there, we're probably looking for some potential price action to the downside. At least test the 20. Now let's go look at the Dow, right? The Dow, what did it do yesterday? We talked about the Dow, right? We talked about potentially going down if the US 30 kept on going down, and lo and behold, the US 30 went down, so the Dow went down. Yesterday, down 592 points, right? So again, we knew it was a possibility. Same thing that's happening across the market, right? Again, we're getting this sort of divergence happening. Strong bearish, potential price action to the downside, getting that to play off. Now I move into downside, could potentially see us hit the 20. We also rejected at the 236 at 24,053. Right, we knew it was an area that we're going to test. Again, glad we got above it, but again, you're starting to get that pressure and moving down. Now, what is happening with the US 30? The US 30 is moving down still today, man. So if this keeps on going down, the market might open red. And again, we're still having the same divergence. Here we developed this finally. And this developed yesterday, the 17th. The weekend, by the way. So moving to the downside again. You know, a little bit hesitant because it's just too minuscule. But we're still getting that move to the downside. It's just not too strong yet. Also want to see what happens, right? We're seeing this indecision play across the markets. Now, that's it for this. Let's look at oil. All right, we'll start with Brent. Brent oil moving down at 28.22. Again, we had call divergence, right? Hidden bearish potential of moving to the downside. We fell at the 20. That's what happened. So we moved farther down still. And that's fine. Seems like today we're trying to test the 20. We got close to it, but not too close. Looks like we could potentially be moving down. Apparently we gapped up on the opening, but that's it. Oil Brent, right? Let's look at this Brent on a US site. Again, at 25.26. Again, still moving down on rejection of the 20. We talked about this divergence developing as well. You know, this is across oil, right? We're seeing it across oil. West Texas, same divergence, right? Price action to downside. West Texas at $17, man. See? Not all places are showing it as negative. Although I've seen the review, man. I did see it on CNN. I just don't have that article open right now. What? Oh, man. It was earlier today. Okay, here. No, oil below zero doesn't mean the gas station will pay you to fill up. Yes, that is true. It does not mean that. It just means that they're running out of storage. So now it costs them to produce and they don't have anywhere to put it. I can't find the article where they talked about that, but let's open this one. Oil price below zero for the first time ever. The thing is, they don't say where, right? Again, negative 37. I want to see where, man. Crude finished at negative 37.63 a barrel, making the only time gas has gone below zero. And oil futures, right? Oil futures. So that's what we're looking at. Now, when we're looking at futures, and we said the price right now, it's higher than the price ahead, right, on the future market, where they're saying it's going to be worth. That just means that the market is in backwardation, right? The future price is less than today. When the market in the futures is higher, it just means the market is in contango. It's just going with the flow, right? It's going higher in the future, so you're expecting the price to go up. Right now, even though it says zero, they're just expecting the price to go down. And it just affects you if you're doing the futures market. It doesn't affect the spot price for oil. It shouldn't affect the spot price for oil. I mean, it says that it's being expected that the price will go lower in the future, right? So apparently I'm getting some feedback here from CNN. Producers are essentially paying to get rid of their barrels, again, because they don't have storage capacity. Historical collapse shows terrible oversupply. The market of oil has become, right, there you go. The real fear is that the world will soon run out of places to store barrels. Again, what I told you guys, storage running out. Prices and all was so volatile, is trading well. So again, they're foreseeing, right, there's still storage today. That's what the price is still not zero. They're foreseeing that there's not going to be this storage in the future, so the price of oil should go down, right? Technically, that's what that's what this is all about, right? Anyways, although the May contract turned negative again, we're talking about May, right? That's the May contract, not spot price for oil. That's why the spot price, what we look at, is still positive, but $17 too low. But again, the June contract was still trading above $20 a barrel, right? So again, we're talking about futures. It's just 1 month ahead, man. We're not even talking about the 3-month price for oil. That could probably be a little bit more significant, at least in metals. The 3-month price or the 3-month forward contract, it's a little bit more representative of where the market could go. 1 month, it's just too short-sighted. Too many things can happen, right? Also for the 3-month contract, but at least you're expecting some balance to come back in. Right now, it's probably just panic, that we're running out of space. But anyways, crude finished at $18.27 a barrel on Friday, meaning it collapsed more than 200% in 1 day. So again, that's just because the futures contract went down. We're not looking at futures contracts. I'm not looking at any future contracts here, but let's look at futures oil. I guess this is as good as any, right? See, then we have the contracts. Crude oil futures May 2020, crude oil futures June 2020. Let's look at May 2020, right? Look, it bounced back, Benny. There you go, right? Getting you bounced back at least to 198. Let's look again at oil's futures, right? Oil futures for June, sitting at $21. So this oil futures, even though it doesn't tell me which oil it is, we can expect for it to be Brent, let's say. And if it is Brent oil, we're talking about the market still in contango, in backwardation, because today's price is $25. We're talking that the price is going to be $21 by June. So the price of oil would still go lower, right? That's what's being projected. But we can look still at July. That would be a pretty reliable month. So let's look at this. Oil futures July. Let me see July. Here we go. Right, 26, right? It's still slightly higher, so we can say that the market is going in contango with the price of oil by July. And again, 3 months is usually a little bit more reliable. Right now, we're just seeing a little bit of panic, I guess, for May. But things should get settled and back to normal by, if the contingency gets lifted. We're going to see the oil being used again for gas because people are going to start being a little bit more mobile again on their cars, etc. And that's going to end up bringing back consumption of oil. And yes, although you have a lot of oil stacked up, it's going to have to end up being produced into gasoline at some point in time. And so long as the with that agreement that OPEC made, where they're going to produce less oil, or reduce the quantity of barrels of oil that are going to be produced, they're going to desaturate the market, because at some point in time the supply is going to pick up, and you're gonna start consuming again too much. And then if you keep that production low, you're gonna start eating what's up in storage, and at some point in time, you're gonna need to catch up, and that's when you kickstart production again to full on production, right? Anyways, that's usually how things roll. Again, I'm not too worried about it. Yes, I did see it was a futures market. It's not the spot price of oil. I'm not worried about it. Can you buy in the future? Not really. Like I said, you're probably gonna have to be a company. You're gonna have to have somewhere to store it. It's not like you can buy it and hold it. Can you buy it as a stock? To answer your question, yes, you can. I'm not sure where. You can probably trade it as any other option or any other asset, right? But it's just easier if you buy oil-producing companies. Usually, like I said, they have the assets to have at least a little bit more value to back them up, right? In case of something happening. Like you have refineries, you have equipments, you have many more things. Reserves, that have been calculated that can expand your oil production capacities at certain, let's say, what do we call it? Wells. I'd say oil wells, even though they're not wells. They're more like pockets, subterranean pockets of oil. I think that's gonna be it for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's stream. I hope you're having a great time for sure, man. Again, it's Monday. It's freaking hot where I'm at, man. I'm like sweating looking here, sitting here, and I'm not even using any like heat-producing lamps. These are LED lights that I have in front of me, and they're really cool. And thank God for that, because if I had like any lights that were outputting heat, I'd probably be sweating balls right now, right? I'd just be like sweating like crazy. Anyways, that's gonna be it for tonight, guys. Thank you for watching. If you like what we do, you know what to do. Hit that like, that bell, that sub to be notified when we go live. This is Stellar Crypto. I'm your host, Martin. It's been a pleasure being here with you guys tonight. This awesome Monday night. I hope you're having a great time. Enjoy the rest of your night. I'll catch you tomorrow for another edition of Stellar Crypto. Same time, 10 p.m. Central. Yeah. That's it. Until then.